Hello and welcome. You are watching News 9 live. I'm Krishna Kumar and I've been joined by our Executive Editor Kartika Sharma. Kartika, thank you so much for being with us. And we are discussing the latest in the election-bound state of Karnataka. In Karnataka, Prime Minister Narendra Modi held a rally in Mudabidre of Dakshina Kannada district. Addressing a crowd in Mudabidre, Prime Minister Modi said that only the BJP can make Karnataka a top state in the country. In his address, Prime Minister Modi attacked the Congress party, saying that the Congress aligns with anti-national outfits. The PM said that the Congress party is known for creating violence and disturbing law and order in the state. He also added that if the young voters in Dakshina Kannada district want peace and harmony, then they should vote for the BJP and for a peaceful Karnataka. With barely a week to go for polling for the Karnataka State Assembly elections, political parties have raised it to fever pitch when it comes to their campaigning in the state, and so has the Prime Minister. Let's first listen in to all the political reactions coming in, and then we'll continue.
रिवर्स गियर कांग्रेस ऐसे एंटी नेशनल लोगों पर दर्ज मुकदमे ना केवल वापस ले लेती है बल्कि उन्हें छोड़ भी देती है। समाज के विभिन्न वर्ग एकजुट होकर एंटी नेशनल लोगों का विरोध करते हैं, लेकिन रिवर्स गियर कांग्रेस दूसरी दिशा में चलती है और ऐसे ही एंटी नेशनल लोगों से चुनावी मदद लेती है। सहोदर सहोदरी, अरे पूरा देश हमारे सैनिकों का आदर करता है, उन्हें सम्मान देता है कि नहीं देता है? हम सेना का सम्मान करते हैं कि नहीं करते? हम हर सैनिक का गर्व करते हैं कि नहीं करते? सैनिक को देख करके हमारा सीना चौड़ा होता है कि नहीं होता है? आप सबको आनंद होता है, खुशी होती है, लेकिन कांग्रेस को रोना आता है। कांग्रेस रिवर्स गियर हमारी सेना का अपमान करती है, हमारी सैनिकों का अपमान करती है, हमारे सेना के वरिष्ठ लोगों के खिलाफ गालियां बोलने तक का पाप करती है। साथियों, आज पूरी दुनिया भारत में डेमोक्रेसी और डेवलपमेंट को देखकर उसे सम्मान दे रही है, लेकिन रिवर्स गियर कांग्रेस दुनिया भर में घूम घूम कर देश को बदनाम कर रही है। देश भर में जहां कहीं भी लोग शांति और प्रगति चाहते हैं, वहां सबसे पहला काम करते हैं। जो राज्य के लोग जग जाते हैं, जो राज्य के लोग आगे बढ़ना चाहते हैं, जो राज्य अपने राज्य की प्रगति चाहते हैं, वो पहला काम करते हैं। क्या काम करते हैं? सबसे पहले वो अपने राज्य से कांग्रेस को बाहर कर देते हैं। जाओ भाई, बहुत हो गया। अगर समाज में शांति है तो कांग्रेस शांत नहीं बैठ पाती। अगर देश प्रगति कर रहा है तो कांग्रेस इसे बर्दाश्त नहीं कर पाती। कांग्रेस की पूरी राजनीति बांटो और राज करो की नीति पर आधारित है। कर्नाटका ने खुद कांग्रेस का ये खौफनाक चेहरा देखा है। जो लोग कर्नाटका में आतंक फैलाने की साजिश में गिरफ्तार होते हैं, कांग्रेस उन्हें बचाने के लिए मैदान में आ जाती है। ये सच्चाई है कि नहीं है? ऐसे लोगों को कांग्रेस बचाती है कि नहीं बचाती है? अगर ऐसे लोगों को बचाएंगे तो शांति आएगी क्या?
Right, that was the Prime Minister in Mudabidre in Karnataka. Kartika Sharma, you've been there. You know what a beautiful place Mudabidre is. What a place to make. What a scathing attack on the Congress party. Prime Minister Modi, to go. Less than about a week to go as far as the polling day is concerned.
I think it tells me, Krishna, first of all, Mudabidre is such a beautiful place. It's such a beautiful place. It's next to my, in-laws' place.
Near Bangalore.
Near Bangalore. It's a beautiful place.
With a beautiful temple.
Oh, beautiful temple of Katil. More people should go to Mudabidre to see how beautiful South Karnataka is. It's extremely beautiful. But, the question you asked me, I'm not surprised that the Prime Minister is doing it. Prime Minister has taken up very divisive issues when BJP is in trouble. If you recall, in 2017, suddenly Prime Minister started speaking about Kabristan ke liye paise hain, fencing ke liye, but Hindu cremation grounds ke liye paise nahi hai, and Akhilesh government was on a complete back foot, and it changed a lot of things. So for Prime Minister one is national issue and one is regional issue, but for Prime Minister to take up issue that the Congress is anti-national, Congress is a party which supports terrorists or let them off, or has supported organizations which do Muslim Tushtikaran ki Rajniti. I think it's an old script. It's old wine in the old bottle. But the question is, why is this old wine in the old bottle being presented in a new election? I think this is a time-tested thing for Bharatiya Janata Party, one. And Prime Minister is falling back on this script because I think there's a feeling in BJP that some narratives have not worked for them. If I would say that BJP is a party where you used Hindutva married to development, Hindutva I would say married to the Labharti politics, and Labharti politics married into market and mobile. So I think Labharti Hindutva purely has not worked, neither Labharti nor market nor mobile. So here the whole
narrative
has been changed. So Prime Minister is talking about Hanumanji, Prime Minister is talking about locking up of Lord Ram. He is talking of issues which, if you don't know if there is an election in Karnataka on 13, you would say, is there a Lok Sabha election after 14 days?
Good point. Let's take this across to Vijay Grover, senior journalist who joins us. The kind of issues that Prime Minister Modi is speaking now, with about a week to go for polling day, Vijay Grover, it seems like, this is not a Karnataka state election, but a Lok Sabha election that's coming around.
Well, see, as far as this particular election is concerned, when the BJP went into the campaign initially, it was on the defensive in terms of the 40% corruption, and then we had Virupaksapa's case come up just a few days ago. So that was something, anti-incumbency was a major factor. The very defensive campaign that started has suddenly changed after Prime Minister entering the fray on 29th of April. Now, very clearly, the Prime Minister knows, and as Kartikeya very clearly said, that that the new narrative that is being built around him now clearly shows that he is the only batsman, or I would say the Sachin Tendulkar of BJP, who is expected to save the match for them. So while there is no mention of the performance or the lack of performance of the state government, or the kind of achievements it has done or not done, but the Prime Minister clearly knows that by taking it on the platform that he is raising these issues in a high decibel campaign, that's the only way to maybe confuse the voter. If you can't convince them, confuse them. So this narrative of Congress being anti-national, PFI ban, and supporters of PFI funding the Congress, this certainly cuts ice, and the Prime Minister knows it, that from here on, where the initial surveys showed the BJP getting about 70-75, now the new surveys certainly show that the BJP is already crossing the 115 mark.
In that sense, do you think that the entire comment or the narrative from the Congress party equating Bajrang Dal with the PFI, this is a counter to that essentially at the end of the day, and that sort of ties into the larger narrative of the Prime Minister and the BJP nationally?
Well, see, while many are pointing out that the Congress committed a mistake by including Bajrang Dal and PFI in the same sentence, but the fact is that the BJP, while went on the strong Hindutva agenda, for the Congress it was inevitable to go on this kind of reverse polarization. And I would say that, it was well thought out plot for the simple reason that the Muslim vote, which is about 15%, gets split between the JDS and the Congress. And the Congress has never gained because the JDS has eaten into its own votes. Well, now with this issue raking up, it hopes that if it is able to garner the Muslim votes away from the JDS, they wouldn't obviously vote for the BJP. That would, give it additional 10, 15 seats. So in this conflict that we are seeing, the war of words in the last 2-3 days we are seeing, the only loser I foresee is the fact that the JDS, which was banking that, by giving tickets to so many Muslims and making CM Ibrahim the state president, would have worked. But unfortunately, it is not working now. And that is where the Congress is hoping that, if it gets the minority votes along with the other caste votes, it would be able to do a better performance. So it could still be a cliffhanger as far as the Congress thinks, but the Prime Minister knows that from here on he has to pull it on to ensure that there is no dependence of a coalition government or something like that.
Right, we're talking about caste votes, and now you have the Prime Minister as part of the same speech in Mudabidre in southern Karnataka, also slamming the Congress party and the JDS, the JDS, which is the voice of the Vokkaliga community in Karnataka. Let's quickly listen to that soundbite of the Prime Minister.
बीजेपी का संकल्प है कर्नाटका में आधुनिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर का निर्माण करना। बीजेपी का संकल्प है कर्नाटका को मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सुपर पावर बनाना। ये हमारा आने वाले वर्षों का रोड मैप है। वहीं कांग्रेस वोट मांग रही है और क्या कर रही है? कांग्रेस क्या कह रही है जाकर के? वो कहती है कि हमारा एक नेता रिटायर्ड होने वाला है, अब वो जा रहा है, जाते जाते एक दे दो। कांग्रेस आपका वोट इसलिए चाहती है क्योंकि उनका एक नेता रिटायर हो रहा है। कांग्रेस आपका एक वोट इसलिए चाहती है कि बीजेपी सरकार के फैसलों को, जनहित की योजनाओं को, यहां के लोगों के कल्याण के लिए जो काम किए हैं, उन सबको पलटना चाहती है। कांग्रेस कुछ भी कर ले, मैं कर्नाटका में पिछले 3-4 दिन से चुनाव रैलियां कर रहा हूं, छोटे छोटे बच्चों का प्यार देख रहा हूं, माताओं बहनों के आशीर्वाद पा रहा हूं, नौजवानों का जुस्सा देख रहा हूं, किसानों की आंख में उमंग और उत्साह देख रहा हूं और मेरे कानों पर एक ही आवाज आती है, एक ही विश्वास आता है, एक ही संदेश सुनने को मिलता है, एक ही मंत्र गूंज रहा है, ई बारिया निर्धारा, ई बारिया निर्धारा बहुमत बीजेपी सरकारा।
Right, Kartikeya, you're seeing this Prime Minister going out on a complete all-out attack against the Congress party and the JDS, making it very clear. You're talking about the development pitch, the Hindutva plus development pitch, and and that's essentially the national narrative, which, as you rightly point out, it's in a Lok Sabha election. But that's what he's using for Karnataka elections at this stage with 1 week to go.
You see, it tells us two things. One, he's the only star campaigner who can make a difference. But sometimes even PM fails to make a difference. If you recall in West Bengal, Prime Minister Modi failed to make a difference. You recall his campaign, Didi, oh Didi, 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 Didi. People just didn't like that. BJP lost West Bengal. A similar campaign was launched in Himachal Pradesh, the margin was small, but the Congress was able to defeat Bharatiya Janata Party. And what was the line given by BJP? Naye din naya sanskar, which means that you can repeat the government again. But in Gujarat, their template is in play. They changed the government, they changed the ministers, they changed the chief minister, prime minister campaign, and they knew the BJP would deliver the state to them. Problem in Karnataka is that despite social engineering which Bharatiya Janata Party was doing by sidelining Yedurappa, by giving 2% votes to Lingayat, because when people say, and the journalists who are joining us from Bangalore can talk about it, when they say that Hindutva or Hindu politics is immune to the caste arithmetics, I think it is a sham, Krishna. Hindutva politics in every part of this country is married to the local fabric of caste. It's not independent of caste. If you look at Uttar Pradesh, Hindutva politics was led by Lodh politicians opposed to the Yadavs of the Samajwadi Party. They were OBC, they were also OBC, but the issue was Lodhs were the lesser OBCs and the Yadavs were the dominant OBCs, but it was led by OBCs. Even if you look at Rajasthan, you have an OBC Jad, Vasundhara Raje Scindia, who is leading the politics. Right. OBCification of politics has happened. Even in Karnataka, it is the Lingayats who held BJP in good stead.
Fair enough. I'm going to stop you right there. You're talking about Rajasthan. Prime Minister, in fact, in this speech specifically took Rajasthan as a mention, and I was talking about Congress terror in Rajasthan. Let's quickly listen to that soundbite and then we'll continue this discussion.
कांग्रेस कर्नाटका में शांति की दुश्मन है, कांग्रेस विकास की भी दुश्मन है। जब कांग्रेस होती है, वहां के निवेशक भागने लग जाते हैं। कांग्रेस आतंक के आकाओं को बचाती है, तुष्टीकरण को बढ़ाती है। अभी राजस्थान में आपको पता होगा क्या हुआ राजस्थान में। कुछ साल पहले एक बम धमाका हुआ था, दशकों लोग मर गए थे, 50 से ज्यादा लोग मर गए थे। आप कल्पना कीजिए, इतना भयंकर षड्यंत्र, 50 से ज्यादा लोग मारे गए, बम धमाका हुआ, लेकिन वहां की कांग्रेस सरकार की पुलिस ने ऐसा काम किया कि ये धमाका करने वाले सारे के सारे दोषी निर्दोष जेल से छूट गए, उनको सजा नहीं दिलवाई। तुष्टीकरण की यही नीति कांग्रेस की एकमात्र पहचान है। क्या ऐसी कांग्रेस को आने देंगे? ऐसी कांग्रेस को आने देंगे? क्या कर्नाटका को बर्बाद होने देंगे? क्या आपके भविष्य को तबाह होने देंगे?
Right, the Prime Minister's blistering campaign trail in Mudabidre in southern Karnataka. Kartika Sharma continues to be with us. Vijay Grover, senior journalist, also continues to be with us in the broadcast. Mr. Vijay Grover, I know you've been listening to all those sound bites of the Prime Minister. I just want to understand, we here sitting in Delhi feel like, this could be the kind of campaign that works for the Lok Sabha elections. But, our curiosity is that, do you think, this is coming out of pressure to deliver in Karnataka for the Prime Minister? Because it has gone awry in West Bengal for him, even despite his campaigning, the BJP lost. And more importantly, this tone and tenor that he's taking at this stage of the campaigning, do you think this is cutting ice with the people of Karnataka?
Well, see, the thing is, there is no other alternative in front of the Prime Minister for the simple reason that, he knows that, if he's able to whip up the passion, whip up the sentiments, maybe that's the only way that he can, ensure victory. Because if you look at the campaign trail of the Prime Minister and maybe the other BJP leaders, nobody else is able to get the kind of crowds that he's able to attract. And that we saw in the roadshow in Kalburgi yesterday, we're seeing in the rallies that he's been addressing that, he is the biggest, campaigner for the party, and he knows it, that he does not want to get into, the fact that why the agro parks were not built, or those kind, because that narrative will not work, because there are local issues against the reason why there was anti-incumbency. But he knows that the only way to get out of this situation is by whipping up this passion of attacking the Congress ruthlessly, uh, projecting them as pro-minorities and anti-Hindu, and also the word anti-national that is used today. So clearly, though it looks certainly like, as Kartikeya said, that Lok Sabha elections 2 weeks away, but the fact is, it's his magic which has worked in the past also. He knows that he's able to get the Lok Sabha seats out of Karnataka by the kind of campaign that he did last time. Because till now, Karnataka was voting a little differently when it came to the national elections and the state elections. So he's hoping that what worked for it in getting the MPs out of Karnataka might also help this time in getting some extra MLAs out of Karnataka. So clearly, the entire responsibility, I would say, and even the Prime Minister and the BJP know that it is only Narendra Modi who can do it for them. And that's the reason why you're seeing such a hectic schedule has been made for him till the 7th, with a concluding roadshow in Bangalore. Clearly shows that,
It's 29 degrees
even if
outside.
he's building a national narrative, he knows that that is the only tool available with him at the moment, because the questions that were raised up against Bombay, the questions of 40% commission, certainly he doesn't have answer to it, and that's the reason why he's keeping all those leaders away from him. And by fielding 72 new candidates, he sent his intent along that this election the BJP has to win. And how in Maharashtra, if he could get a new uh, person to lead Dev Fadnavis here around, I won't be surprised that if BJP comes to power, it could be a newcomer who would be again brought out from the ranks and show the lead.
A newcomer could be the Chief Minister of Karnataka if the BJP wins, is the word coming from Vijay Grover. Stay with us, Kartikeya. We will be getting a little ahead of us, Kartikeya, aren't we? Talking about a possible BJP candidate for a Chief Minister. But it's going to be a rough road ahead for the BJP from here to make up for the difference, to make up for the anti-incumbency, to make up for what they've been lacking so far. With all the star power of the Prime Minister, to make up for all of that and still deliver good numbers.
See, Prime Minister has suddenly taken up issues which are both polarizing and they are married to this Labharti politics of Bharatiya Janata Party. I wouldn't say that the Prime Minister is the first person. I would say the first person to do it successfully and milk it politically was Srimati Indira Gandhi in 70s. If you recall 20 Sutri Yojana, 10-point program, Indira Gandhi was the first person to have created a welfare mechanism which could directly be attributed to her. So she was the first Prime Minister to practice Labharti politics. But there was no word, there was no social media, no one said this is Labharti. So it was all about roti, kapra or makan. That's one. The second part is that national, anti-national, yes, it was again Indira Gandhi. She was the first Prime Minister to have said from if I'm not wrong, Soviet Union, there are opposition parties in cahoots with CIA. There's a Western propaganda against my country. Paschimi taakatein chalu hain. Because at that point of time, CIA was adept in kicking out the socialist governments or the governments with a socialist outlook. So that was second historically. But coming back to our Prime Minister, Narendra Modi and his campaign in Karnataka, why is this campaign important? This campaign is important because BJP, if it loses Karnataka, will have no footprint in south of India, one. It will affect its plan in Telangana. BJP has no footprint in Tamil Nadu, proper electoral footprint. It's very weak in Andhra Pradesh. It is very weak in Kerala. Tamil Nadu, it has no space. In fact, I would say in Tamil Nadu, BJP is like an overworked nanny trying to ensure an order in a house where two siblings are fighting for the key of the safe. That is ADMK. So, so for them, this state is very, very important. And lastly, I would say, look at the stake. Dattatreya Hosbole, Sahasar Sangha Chalak, number 2 in RSS, is from Andhra Pradesh. Santosh, who is the organizing secretary of Bharatiya Janata Party, sorry, is from Karnataka. Dattatreya Hosbole is also from Karnataka. Mallikarjun Kharge is also from Karnataka. So the three important people in the game are from Karnataka. Deve Gowda is obviously former Prime Minister from Karnataka. So I'm saying a lot of things are at stake for these people. And Prime Minister doing so is, I think he's trying to consolidate a vote which he thinks has not been done properly by Bombay. What surprises me, I think Vijayji can talk about, is that why this goalpost has been shifted. The Chief Minister was publicly ridiculing press members, saying that why are you asking me question on hijab and halal and all that. These are non-issues. If hijab and halal are non-issues, how come Hanumanji and Bhagwan Ram, or how come terrorists, how come this has become an issue? If hijab and halal is not an issue, तो फिर हनुमान जी और भगवान राम मुद्दा कैसे बन गया? I mean to say, if you can ask this question to him.
Right, we have actually Amitabh Tiwari, political analyst, now joining us live on this broadcast on News9 Live. Mr. Amitabh Tiwari, thank you so much for being with us. Talk to us. I want to first get in your reactions on this entire poll pitch of the Prime Minister with just about a week to go for voting day in Karnataka. This is a national narrative that the BJP does, about painting the Congress as an anti-national party that supports anti-national organizations, and this has come on hot on the heels of the Congress party making that comparison between the Bajrang Dal and the PFI and promising to ban both if they come to power. So do you think there is a narrative shift from the Prime Minister's end and the BJP's end, or is this more of a reaction to what the Congress party has been doing?
So, thank you for having me on the show. See, the Prime Minister, when he campaigns in any state, normally talks on national issues, because it is for the state leadership to talk about local issues, and local issues play a bigger and a larger role in a state election. But when a Prime Minister or even a Rahul or a Priyanka are campaigning, they tend to speak more about national issues. Now, the main opponent of BJP in this state is the Congress. So the normal target strategies which the BJP uses against the Congress, which is your dynastic politics, anti-national, it's using Karnataka as ATM, etc., will be used. And we have to also keep in mind that where are these statements being made, correct? Some of these statements are being made in Dakshina Kannada, in the coastal Karnataka, where Hindutva actually plays a role. BJP swept almost the entire coastal Karnataka of 21 seats, bagging around 19 seats in 2018. So his speech is also designed or targeted and changed depending upon the region or the target audience. Number two is that even with the urban audience, so let's say even when he was in Bengaluru, he was talking about national issues, nationalism, this Labharti factor, as Kartikeyaji is talking about. So there is an audience for this sort of narrative in any state which largely vote on national issues, and he is trying to take out BJP from a position where it is on a back foot. As you said, the Chief Minister, as per many surveys, I am surprised, I have never seen a Chief Minister lagging so much behind any other opponent by such a big margin. I mean, normally, whenever Chief Ministers are losing, they also tend to have a better popularity rating, because they have this top of the mind recall when you ask them the question, who is the best suited to be CM. So BJP is on a back foot here, and that's why probably he is the star campaigner.
Amitabh, can you analyze this? Prime Minister right now has not attacked the local leaders, directly. He has putting the onus of problem in the Congress party. It's like, if you recall, I was just telling this to my colleague in 2013 when the LAC issue took place. So Modi, as the Chief Minister, said the problem is not at the border, the problem is in Delhi. So, if you look at his speeches, he says the problem is in Congress, but he hasn't downrightly attacked Siddaramaiah, DK and other regional leaders. Any specific reason why?
Because protocol is followed in politics, correct? I mean, he is the Prime Minister of the country. So if he has to attack the Congress, he would be attacking Mallikarjun Kharge and the Gandhi family. So he would not stoop low, I would say, to target chief ministerial or candidate.
He hasn't even attacked Mallikarjun Kharge, if you would have noticed, Amitabh. You know, he has refrained from attacking Mallikarjun Kharge.
See, again, Mallikarjun Kharge, what BJP has been trying to portray for the last few months is that he is a remote control president. And when you have the BJP or the Prime Minister does not want the focus to shift away from the Gandhi family. Because if you shift the focus from the Gandhi family to Mallikarjun Kharge, then your dynastic politics, etc., attacks lose their sharpness. Correct. So Gandhi family is the favorite
punching bag
target of the BJP or the Modi. PM Modi, because then he can also talk about the 70 years of rule. Correct. Then he correlates the 70 years of rule with the Gandhi family, with the family members of the Gandhi family being in power at the center. So I think that's why strategically the punching bag is chosen to be the Gandhi family.
Okay, Vijay, if you're listening to me, I have a question for you. If you are there with me, or else, you know, Amitabh, you can take this question. You know, if we divide Karnataka into regions, you have Bombay Karnataka, you have Hyderabad Karnataka, you have Middle Karnataka, you have Greater Mysore, Bangalore, you have Coastal Karnataka. Do you think in the central and northern Karnataka there is a chance that the BJP might lose its strength?
Yeah. Kartika, you said it very rightly, the fact that, you know, last time around, some of the big gains came from North Karnataka, especially the Gulbarga, Bidar, these regions for the BJP, for the simple reason that there was a very aggressive campaign that was taken over there. Somehow, we've seen that, you know, the steam went down because the JDS was also making a very strong effort last time around in that region to be able to gain some foothold to expand beyond South Karnataka. But this time somewhere we get a sense of feeling that the JDS has realized that it cannot make inroads, and it was impacting the kind of, you know, prospects of the Congress. We have seen 3 of the JDS candidates retire from the campaign in favor of the Congress in North Karnataka. So clearly there is something that is brewing up. And the biggest factor, the Janardhan Reddy factor. You know, last time around, Janardhan Reddy, though he was not in active politics, he was not aggressive because of all the charges that were there, but he was not doing any damage as far as, you know, to the BJP was concerned. He was only trying to get into the good books of the BJP leaders again and make a comeback. But this time around, after he's launched his own party and the kind of, you know, dent he's making in the Bellary and the other regions, Raichur district, that could be something that could be a sense of worry. What we gather from the ground, that even a person like Sri Ramulu, who's a scheduled tribe leader, the ST face of BJP, is struggling in his own constituency because he did not reciprocate with the people the way he should have during his 5-year tenure. And that even, you know, there are several villages which boycotted his campaign. So that is the kind of sense, you know, that is there, that, you know, the Prime Minister will have to overcome all this anti-incumbency against the local leadership. The anti-incumbency this time was not against lack of performance of the government. It was against specific MLAs. We saw Arvind Limbavli in the Bangalore. I'm just giving an example that, you know, a prominent face, the person who was supposed to face election 4th time, he is not contesting. So clearly the BJP knows where its, you know, individual MLAs failed badly in not connecting with the state and the people of the constituencies, and that is what Prime Minister is trying to cover up by reaching out. And, you know, as it is said that, you know, he doesn't need leaders in between. The Prime Minister connects with the voters directly and ensures that the voters listen to him and go by the vision that he shares for them. So that is something where the Labharthi factor that you were talking about comes very crucial, and that is where he also understands that, you know, anti-incumbency against specific leaders can be countered only by this kind of rhetoric. So there could be a dent, and, you know, in a district where out of 26 seats, the BJP had managed 15. This time around, it could be, you know, about 7-8 seats lost over there. So that is what they're trying to cover up.
So Vijay, are we saying that the Congress has a distinct advantage in Karnataka today? Can we say that the Congress party?
Well, if you would. Well, see, as far as you look at it electorally, the kind of, anger that was there in the people and, the kind of resentment that was there against individual MLAs, there could be big shift. We have a lot of rebels. We are not talking about, the BJP has about 15 rebels who are contesting or, damaging the prospects, including a person like Ayanur Manjunath in Shimoga, a person who was the right-hand man of B.S. Yediyurappa. So that is something which is clearly a signal that, when voting takes place, how much of the Prime Minister's magic will, still hold sway. But at that juncture, it could be the caste, it could be the...
But Vijay, sorry,
previous
I'm sorry, Vijay, I'm
which were-
interrupting you. You have to ask this, answer this question. I'm taking you by surprise because, it's like you remember Chai Wala movement, Mani Shankar Jaip, 2014, and BJP turned it around. You recall that?
Yeah.
Bharatiya Janata Party has decided, Vijay, that on 4th, which is tomorrow, on the issue of ban on Bajrang Dal, भारतीय जनता पार्टी कर्नाटक के हर मंदिर में हर ग्राम पंचायत पे हनुमान चालीसा का पाठ करेगी शाम के 7 बजे. They have taken up the issue. Do you think that this will have an impact? Is it a turning around movement, sir?
Well, see, very clearly, earlier also when you were discussing as to why hijab or halal are not an issue, but Bajrang Dal ban certainly is an issue because, people are not concerned or, it directly did not involve Hindus, whether a Muslim girl wore a hijab or did not wear a hijab, because it was not something related to them. But the Bajrang Dal issue or the Bajrang Bali issue, which the Prime Minister picked up very quickly from the manifesto of the Congress, certainly is making waves. That was the third biggest self-goal of the Congress, which could prove to be fatal as far as the Congress is concerned. Because the trends are now certainly thing. And if, the way the Chaiwala campaign was taken up, where every tea shop had, resonance of the same issue, this time around, if, what is planned tomorrow at all the temples, certainly could be a big, big blow because, so people forget caste. The fact of, the Hindutva politics is that it raises the discourse beyond caste. And that is where, the Prime Minister is trying to take it by putting it as a Hindutva platform, because he knows that, if he were to go by the divides of the Lingayat, Pokaligas, OBCs and ST and SC, it may not work because people would still vote by caste. But if everybody starts thinking in the Hindutva platform, maybe he'll be able to garner that many extra seats and votes. And that is what the entire narrative now seems to be building up as far as the BJP is concerned.
Right, and he is definitely taking really pointed arrows at the Congress party. Let's now listen in again to another arrow shot he took at the Congress party. It was something that Amitabh Tiwari was talking about, that the Congress party is using the state of Karnataka like an ATM. Let's listen in.
कांग्रेस कर्नाटका को दिल्ली में उनका जो शाही परिवार बैठा है ना, उस शाही परिवार का नंबर 1 एटीएम बनाना चाहती है और हर योजना में 85% कमीशन खाने वाली कांग्रेस कर्नाटका को दशकों पीछे ले जाकर गड्ढे में गाड़ देगी। इसलिए कर्नाटका के लोगों को कांग्रेस से बहुत सावधान रहना है और जेडीएस भी वही कच्चे पत्ते के लोग हैं भाई। स्नेहितरे दक्षिण कन्नड़ा के जो फर्स्ट टाइम वोटर है, जो जीवन में पहली बार वोट देने जा रहे हैं, कर्नाटका का भविष्य तय करने में वो अपने मत का उपयोग करने जा रहे हैं। ये नए मतदाता, ये पहली बार बनने वाले मतदाता 18 साल की आयु के मेरे मतदाता बेटे बेटियां अब वो कर्नाटका का भविष्य तय करेंगे, साथ साथ वो खुद का भी भविष्य तय करने वाले हैं। उनको मैं आज एक जरूरी बात बताना चाहता हूं। मेरे नौजवान बेटे बेटियां, पहली बार वोट देने के लिए जाने वाली मेरे बेटे बेटियां, आपको अगर अपना कैरियर बनाना है, अपने मन का काम करना है, तो ये कांग्रेस के रहते संभव नहीं होगा। कर्नाटका में अस्थिरता रही तो आपका भाग्य भी अस्थिर रहेगा। कर्नाटका में स्थिर सरकार नहीं बनी तो आपके संकल्प भी स्थिरता के साथ आगे नहीं बढ़ेंगे।
Right. I'm going to take this across to Amitabh Tiwari, political analyst, and Vijay Grover continue to be with us. I'm going to take closing comments from both of you. Amitabh Tiwari, let's begin with you. Tell us, you've heard the entire, the highlights of that campaign speech by the Prime Minister in Mudabidre in southern Karnataka. If I were to, the first thing that, what is the, thoughts that you're leaving that stay in your mind when you're hearing these words from the Prime Minister?
See, the Prime Minister realizes that it is a tough battle and it is on him to save the day for the BJP here, and he is trying to woo all segments of voters. So in the speech you saw, he is trying to woo people who believe in nationalism, first-time voters, then people who do not tolerate corruption, because he talked about the 85% commission, taking it back to the Rajiv Gandhi days, perhaps a charge to negate the 40% commission charge on the Congress. So he has good oratory skills. He has a different message for a different segment of voters, and that is what he is good at. Now we'll have to see whether the Modi factor can really pull up BJP's performance here, because one thing which has to be very differently understood is that Modi factor in a state where BJP is in opposition versus Modi factor in a state where BJP is in power. These have to be analyzed differently, and they have in the past behaved differently also.
Right, Mr. Vijay Grover, if I were to ask you the same question, because we're trying to understand where this narrative is going and why this messaging is coming in at this point in time from the Prime Minister. You're talking about the staples. Congress supporting anti-national parties. You're talking about Congress using Karnataka as an ATM. What are your thoughts, Mr. Vijay Grover?
Well, see, as far as the way last 3-4 days of campaign is concerned, it now looks like that the Modi factor could be tested in this election. The way the Prime Minister is taking everything in it, the kind of the brunt which Bommai and his cabinet colleagues should have taken. Somehow it seems that Prime Minister Modi is trying to protect the Bommai government. Now clearly it is a question now whether the Modi factor will work or not work. And if it works, once again we will see like how in Gujarat he showed his oratory skills have helped, and the way he's connected with the voters, because many of the BJP leaders say that the Prime Minister connects directly with the voter. He doesn't need the leaders in between. So whether it will work this time in the state election, it could be a make or break election for the Modi factor, I would say, because this is being tested time and again, and the pressure that is on him clearly is showing in the kind of speeches that he's making.
Right, Kartikeya, and that's what you're talking about. Karnataka is not Gujarat. It worked in Gujarat, it did not work in West Bengal. And Karnataka, again, it all boils down to this, is that will the Modi factor turn the tables for the BJP?
And the most important thing is people think that Gujarat is only about creating a larger consolidated Hindu bloc which stands against the minorities. I think it is wrong. The Gujarat model is a very complex model of a caste relationship which evolved in 70s and 80s, in which Congress party, if you remember, during Madhav Singh Solanki's regime created calm, but that calm was opposed to the upper caste, and upper caste in Gujarat have never forgiven Congress party for it. So first the Patels went and then the upper caste. So because of that, Congress has not been able to cobble up that volume which can make them come to power. So again, I would say that there is a caste composition in that larger fabric of Hindutva politics, and Congress has failed there. You know, when you build a caste alliance, it allows you something, but it limits you to something.
Right.
Hindutva is a flexible thing. It
Right.
can accommodate everything. So in this case, Gujarat model cannot be implemented in Karnataka for one simple reason, that rainbow alliance of multiple castes for BJP does not exist in Karnataka.
Well, we'll have to wait and watch. May 10th is the polling day, ladies and gentlemen. Bear in mind for Karnataka state elections, and May 13th is counting day. So just a week away from it, Kartikeya, we'll know the litmus test for the Modi factor in Karnataka in a week's time. We will continue to track all the latest developments on the Karnataka state elections here on News 9 Live. But with this, we're wrapping up this particular discussion. Thank you all for watching, for tuning into this broadcast. This is Krishna Kumar signing off. Keep it with News 9.